Sige, good day everyone. We are done with the customer uh, quality service, and also we're done with the service culture in the first lessons of the midterm. This is in continuation, no, of the things that we have to discuss for the midterm, and we will be identifying the key skills, for the quality customer service. Since we know already what is the service culture, the components of it, there are things that we have to understand when we have to deliver this what we call quality service or customer service. Since you are um, in the field of business, you have to deal with the customers someday or sooner or later. We have to check out now what is the role of the customer service person, or in our case in the BPO, since we are tackling the BPO um, subject or service culture. This is a CSR, no, customer service representative, no? So what should we know about this? When you are a customer service person or CSR, you have to know your organization. That's very important because knowing your organization means knowing your vision and mission, or your goal in um, the institution that you have applied, no? Or if you're already hired, no, sa isa ka institution, dapat you have the same goal as the other people in there, your colleagues. What are your goals, no, in for example in giving customer support, or quality customer support. Not only that, there are visions in some institution like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that you are um, there, no, uh, that you will be helping the institution to achieve those goals in 5 years time, or 10 years time. So that's the importance of knowing your organization. Knowing your organization also means knowing your privileges, and what are the things that you might get out of the institution, like benefits. Some institutions offer insurance, no, or healthcare insurance. Some don't. No? So you have to know that your organization, whether they offer that. It's very advantageous if you are a sickly person. Okay, once may amo na, automatically your hospital bills, if ever nga magkasakit ka mo, that will be paid directly sa under the company. So you have to know that. Also, privileges like sick leave, vacation leave, those things, no? Or bonuses. You have to know that into your organization. And whether they give promotions in 5 years or 10 years time, or your tenure sa isa ka company, you have to know that also. So that's important. That's very very important when you know your organization. What else? Know your products and services as well. Knowing this is a big advantage also, because you have to check out the different um, products that you will be selling, no? Since this is a BPO, no, most of the time you're selling products like healthcare, no, like business products, or other products yung maka-benefit ng isang company. Not only products but also services like IT support, no, or aftermarket support. So you have to know those things. That's why sa service culture nyo, may ginatawag nga trainings before you will be hired in a certain company, no? So kung may training, usually knowledgeable ka na kung ano ang background mo sa isa ka company. no? And then very important sa CSP or CSR, no, you have to know your customers. Who are the target customers, no? Who are you talking to kung magtawag na sila, no? These are very diverse people, no? We understand that they came from the first world countries most of the time, no? So they have this what we call attitude and arrogance, no? But you have to know them so that at least you have already knowledge on how to deal with those person. Kaysa call center, usually una pa lang nga word, no, ano na, bad words na usually ang the mabatian. When you are knowing your organization, as I've said, you have to check out the mission and vision of the organization. How the organization uh, create an impact to the customers as well, their work culture, how this organization interact to the policies and procedures to the customers, and there is what we call company support for the products and services. So that's all you need when you have to know your organizations. What else? um, Products and services development, also quality improvement process, product service configurations, performance data as well, and specification, including maintenance and care, and then the pricing and the delivery of the products and services. In knowing your customers, you have to check out the needs, the concerns, and personality of the customer. So you have to remember that. So again, let's go to developing excellent communication with the customer. We are aftering what is excellent here, since we are only giving instructions or selling products to our communication verbally, no? So we have to be excellent when we are communicating to other people in our mouth, no? So excellent verbal skill communication is very important, no, for a productive relationship to customer. What else? Non-verbal communication skills as well. There are some call centers that they are doing video calls, not only telephones and calls, but also they're doing video chat and video calls. So you can um, project your face there in some customers or CSR, no? They're doing live cam when selling products and services as well. And very important is to develop the excellent listening skills. That's one thing, no, that you need to develop when you are in a call center industry. Because without these listening skills, usually you cannot respond to the concerns of the customers, no? So that's the very important, no, to develop excellent verbal communication skills, also the non-verbal as well, and then the listening skills. When we communicating to our customers, no, usually we have to communicate positively. By communicating this positive attitude to the customers, you have to plan your messages ahead. Select those messages or your words politely. No? Greet the customers warmly and sincerely. Be specific also in to what concerns um, are you trying to solve. No? Use small talks because ang rules sa BPO usually kung ano ang pamangkot ang mula ng sabton. No? So, the moment na maglawig na no, or may sanga-sanga na or branches ng problems, usually you cannot handle those things uh, quite easily. So there will be a very lengthy calls already, 15 minutes the most. No? So usually 5 minutes na solve na ang problem usually. No? So You have to use small talks, use simple language, and then paraphrase those questions if hindi mo maintindihan ang pamangkot or ang concern sang isa ka customer. No? So when you communicate positively, usually may opening spiel sa call center, no? Or sa BPO. Sang una, they're using a very standard opening spiel like uh, telling their name and then how may I help you today. No? So sometimes I remember sa CVG no, ang ginagamit kong nga alias no? O dapat may alias ka no? Because you're not supposed to use your original name when you receive a call. No? So amo na ang rule sa BPO. So ginagamit ko tong name is James no. So my opening spiel would be, "Hi, thank you for calling CVG. No? This is James. How may I help you today?" So amo na ang ako yung opening spiel. So usually that gives you a positive communication uh, ahead no. Kay kung wala na usually pamuyayaw na dayon ang receive mo sa mga customers. When you communicate positively, usually ga-ask ka mo phrases, no, or questions like how do you feel that way, no? Use what makes you feel that way. Instead, why do you want that color, for example, or use what other colors you have to consider. So usually, your positive communication style depends on the age of the customer, no? Or usually it depends on the maturity some customer. So you have to be very flexible when dealing with those communication. No? So agree with the customer most of the time and solicit customers feedback after the call. No? So amo na ang isa ka good way no to communicate positively. What else? In communicating positively, there are words and phrases that you need to build up. No? Use phrases like please, like thank you, or can I, or I can, or will I. How may I help you? I understand how you feel. You're right. May I? Would you mind? Or I apologize for. Those are positive communication, no, that you have to remember. No? And there are things that we need to avoid. No? These are negative communication. What are those words and phrases? These phrases and words damages your relationship. So you have to change those things like you don't understand. So do not use this. Do not. You don't see my point. Hold on a second. Our policy says this and that, no? So or prohibits this, no? That's negative one. That's not my responsibility. What you need to do is why don't you the word problem, the word but, the word no. Those are things, no, that you have to avoid usually when you are communicating to other people. Excellent verbal communication with customers. You have to develop this 6C of giving good information to customers. These are very essential. No? These 6Cs are usually innate when you communicate to other people or sa customers nyo. You have to be clear sa inyong purpose or sa inyong communication. You have to be concise. You have to be correct. It should be complete. You have to be courteous. You have to be concrete. No? So those are self-explanatory. Those are quality traits that you need to develop. No? Or if you have already developed this, then good for you. No? That's a very good trait no, to practice when someone is uh, in call. No? Now let's go to nonverbal communication with the customer. Ang nonverbal communication with the customer is also very important when we are doing a call or receiving a call. Though we oftentimes customers don't see this nonverbal behavior, but when you are talking, most of the time there is or there are nonverbal behaviors nga kapatabo no. Though hindi kitaon sa customers, but even smiling no, usually ga-reflect na siya how you speak no. So kung gahibi ka da kag hindi kitaon, usually ga frown ka, the the voice differs no, galain gina or mabalaan gina sa customer. Even the body language, no? Volume cues as well, appearance and grooming, and miscellaneous cues. Those are non-verbal communication nga mabalaan na sa customers though wala webcam. Supposing wala ka mo ga video call. No? So those are non-verbal communication nga dapat i-develop so that ang communication will become positive. So sa body language, usually may eye contact gyapon, though there's no camera supposing gatulo ka gyapon sa camera or sa screen, your posture is there. No? Usually ga sit erect ka muna. Facial expressions are always in smiling and also the gestures. So sa volume naman, usually pitch, volume, rate of speech is very important. The quality of the voice, articulation also, the pronunciation also, the pauses and the silence are very important. That's the reason why most of the Filipinos are getting hired no when the BPO wanted to outsource no talents from the other countries because the Filipinos are very good in what we call volume cues no. We have already developed the different rates like ano, no, our skills like pitch, volume, rate of speech. We can control our voice, we can control our speed, our rate, no? The quality of our voice are there. The articulation is very good as well for the Filipinos. So that's the reason why most of the Filipinos are being hired no, as a BPO or a call center representative. When we talk about appearance and grooming naman, you have to take care of yourself, not only your face but also your whole body, your hygiene, regular washing of the hair or combing of the hair. Use mouthwash though hindi but hindi na nila masimutan ang imong ginhambal but there are people ang imong tupad no, usually maka smell as imo yung odor. So use also deodorant. Clothing and accessories also, as well. So these are very common even in wala ka work sa call center. This is very present sa tanan nga working industry. So you have to I don't know to develop this appearance in grooming as well. What else? Miscellaneous cues. These are cues in your etiquettes and your personal habits. No? So you have to develop these personal habits of yours, which is good. So do not develop the personal bad habits, but personal good habits is the thing that we are after. Proper etiquette and manner as well. So you have to develop those things. What else? Positive and negative communication behavior. You have to develop also positive brief eye contact. Eyes are wide open and smiling. Though again, some of us will not be experiencing video call no, in after sales. Nodding affirmingly. Usually, we are doing that no, when we are expressing, agreeing to other people. So, ganad na usually. So, those are positive traits. Expressive body gestures as well. Your hands are okay to move no? Since that is very expressive. Open body stance as well, listening actively, remaining silent as customer speaks, gesturing with open hand, clean, organized work area, are or those things belong to the positive. About negative, yawning is a negative trait. No? So please avoid yawning in front of your PCs or laptops. No? Frowning as well or sneering, attending to matters other than the customer. Those are big no-nos. No? Leaning away from customers as he or she speaks. Subdue or minimal hand gestures. Staring blankly or coolly at customers. Interrupting, pointing fingers or object at customers. And disorganized, cluttered work space. So those are positive and negative communication behavior. So you have to check sa imo nga self kung may ara kada negative behavior pa nga nabiling when you communicate to other people. So I hope you change those negative things into positive ones so that you can communicate uh, actively, no, or effectively sa customer someday. So we will end here. I hope this helps you sa pag-review sa lessons, no? Since wala kamo pa sulod sa last time nga lesson because may TS, then we have some meetings, no? So you have to um, check out also the LMS kay may quiz ko to nga provide. So I hope ma-answeran ninyo. Sige, we will end here and we will continue again the different topics on effective customer service or quality customer service. Sige, thank you very much for being here. God bless you.